this shit for nothing. No, not at all. Not at all. Yeah. But my money rich. Dodgy though. Oh, yeah. So I don't do this shit for nothing. No, not at all. I told her I got you never read. Passing through stages in life, through the ups and the downs, like it's all just another test. Live by the rules like a fucking ref. I got respect in 100 sets. Too many chains need another chest. Playing no games if it wasn't chess. Come from that cloth that you couldn't stretch. Come from that circle you couldn't test. Heavily pressured and under stress, even though niggas ain't sure we was a mess. Honest attempt playing to the left. Judge a young nigga by their dress. Left is no option, what they expect. Only thing we knew for sure is the bang is set. Fuck living basic, I'm taking risks. Fuck what they said, I'm saying this. Don't waste your time, it don't make you rich, it don't mean nothing, so fuck them, let's make a grip. Double up, triple up, make assist. Ballin' so hard you can pay a bitch. Lead to the lake if they wanna fish. Make sure them niggas around you stick to the script. This should be written in stone. You should come visit my zone. Don't take my word, double check all of my flows. Ask them how hustle got on, but fuck what you heard. This for who walked down that road. Sold everything but they sold. Straight off the curb. Real niggas rich as you nerds. Address to whom and make it sound. Don't do this for nothing.
Hey Chad, what kind of line do you use for your drop shots though? How light do you go?
You don't ever want to try to just copy someone and stuff like that. You want to just let it gradually come on its own, and everyone fishes their own way.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, because I love swim jigs, you know, and then I go to a tackle shop or something, and I pick up a swim jig rod, and I don't like it, you know, so I want my what I want, you know, in my rod.
Yeah, and that's the thing that, like, once you start getting a little bit better at bass fishing, once you get some years in there, as long as we've had, you get kind of more picky about your rods, and you know, like say you have a lot of confidence in like fishing swim jigs or something like you do. I'm just saying, like, for example, like there's a specific rod bend and rod length that you like that some other people who fish the same thing might not like, and that's just what works for you and stuff. And even with the line diameter and stuff, everyone fishes differently and stuff. Everyone likes different things, you know.
Yeah.
That's the cool thing about fishing. You can have two guys throwing the same exact bait, and one guy will have a different rod than the next. One guy will have the rod action, the line will be different, the gear ratios in their reels will be different. They'll be fishing the bait differently. One might be fishing it higher up, one might be giving it more action than the next guy.
Yep.
So there's a lot of stuff that goes into it.
Yep.
That's the reason you got to bring so many rods, and when you're out there and you're casting out baits and stuff, you got to try all kinds of different retrieves to see what they're biting on and stuff.
Yeah, because like some people use like that 5:4 gear ratio, like a slower.
Yeah, that's what I like. That's me.
I just rather slow down.
I'm a slow gear ratio guy.
I'd rather just slow down my retrieve and have that faster.
Yeah.
Because I used to do that because I couldn't slow myself down, you know, mentally. Like I used to want to be the fast fisherman, you know, so I need something to slow me down. But now I'm starting to slow myself down and just keep a high gear ratio, especially when you have. Especially with a swim jig, you know, a lot of times they just charge right at you, you know?
Yeah.
And you got to pick up that line.
That's what I've noticed with you, because like I'd never thrown a lot of swim jigs and stuff, but I have done good with you using them and stuff like that. But that's how I've kind of got into it a little bit because of you. But I've seen the way that you work them and stuff, and I've seen how the fish will come at you a lot when they bite the swim jigs and stuff. Swim jig's good though, but I'm still not that good at. I mean, everyone does it differently and stuff. That's why like I work my swim jigs differently than you do. You get way more bites than I do. I try to I'm trying to get into it more and work it more in the middle of the water column like you do, because for me, I've always fished it more towards the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
But you get like way more fish fishing it in the middle of the water column.
Yeah, I like to either fish down the middle or just sometimes just right at the top too, because you get a lot of them, especially the ones when they swipe at it. They're usually hitting it from the top for some reason.
Yeah, and that's
then
where I
in the
never
middle, they
fish
charge
mine,
at
dude.
you.
I never fish mine on the top or the middle, so that's something I gotta get better at. Oh, and then my chatterbaits too. I need to work my chatterbaits the same exact way as you work your swim jigs, because I still work my chatterbaits on the bottom, which is like the main way you want to do it. But I know that you can get those bites the same way fishing those swim jigs.
Yeah, a lot of baits
It's
are
basically
more
it's
versatile
basically
than
the
what you
same thing, but with the blade on it. But you can use it in the same exact way. But I like the way that you rig yours, because you get way more bites with the way that you rig yours with the with your skirt on there.
think. Yeah.
The one yesterday though, you had a jig head on there though.
Yeah,
A jig,
I was using an arcade head because I was casting under the dock. So
But usually you just use a punch skirt though, and you do really good with just the punch skirt on there.
yeah, well, now I'm using those. I don't. That's a secret. Yeah, you can edit that out.
Yeah.
Cut. Yeah. okay. There you go. Okay. What was I saying?
I was gonna talk about the color, but you don't want to talk about
Oh yeah,
the
I'm
color.
gonna talk about the color.
But you always seem to do good on that color. It's like it has purple. It's almost like a PB&J.
Yeah, it's PB&J.
It is. That's what color it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do really good on that.
Yeah, especially around this time, a lot of the crawls are brown still because it's a little bit cold, the water, especially where I was fishing.
And you catch them in like in any water clarity with that same color too. I've seen.
Yeah, I like my jigs I customize mine. So when it's a little bit dirtier, I just add a little bit more purple, and then.
And then you throw the green. When do you throw the greens? Because I see you throw the green one.
The greens I throw especially when the water starts warming up, because it kind of looks more like a bluegill to me than the craw.
Well,
even if I'm using a
So
craw
what time
trailer,
of year do you throw the green? When do you start throwing the green?
I start throwing the green when the water temperature reaches at least 56 and above. And above, like once
You're
you
not
get
throwing it
60,
yet?
No, I'm not throwing it yet. The greens, I throw it a little bit, but not that much. I don't get that many bites, especially in the colder water. I use more browns and blacks and
And
blues.
the PB&J in the colder water?
Yeah, PB&J in colder water, and
Do you fish it like
When it starts
differently, your
warming up.
swim jigs in the colder water?
yeah, when it's in the colder, I try to keep it in the middle column, because I use it for suspending fish, but I slow it down by twitching it. And when you twitch it, you can just keep it in that same depth. You know what I mean?
And
if
you
you're
use
swimming-
lighter weight too, or no? Or do you
in
use?
the cold water?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you gotta let it drop. You don't want too heavy of a weight, because that'll just make your swim jig move too fast. So
And do
you have
use
to
small?
slow down.
You get more finesse with it, or no?
Yeah, I go lighter. I go as light as a quarter ounce swim jig, a small swim jig, and try to keep that in the middle by just twitching it. And you do a good job of keeping it in the middle because it's so light that it doesn't want to sink. And then when you twitch it, it kind of moves it up, but not too fast where it's gonna go too high.
Do you use like lighter line in the wintertime with those?
Yeah, in the winter time, I go as low as 10 pound on a casting rod, and I go a lighter casting rod, either medium or medium heavy, 7 foot,
And then
with a fast action instead of an extra fast, because swim jigs usually you use. I like an extra fast when they're heavier swim jigs, and then a fast when they're lighter swim jigs. Just because if you're using a quarter ounce swim jig, they're small swim jigs. Usually they're medium to thin wire hooks, and then when you're using heavier half ounce or heavier swim jigs, you're gonna be using a thicker wire hook.